What if you could take a massive 500-page textbook and turn it into a gorgeous infographic in the time it takes to make a coffee? Seriously, today we're going to break down an incredible AI workflow using Notebook LM and Gemini that does exactly that, transforming dense research into amazing results almost instantly. Let's dive in. You know the feeling, right? You're just buried in research, trying to manually pull out key points, and then you've got to wrestle with some clunky design tool. Ugh. Well, this new way, it's a total game changer. It's all about letting the AI do the grunt work, so you can actually focus on the big ideas that matter. All right, so this whole workflow really boils down to two key players. First up, you've got Notebook LM. Just think of this thing as your research brain. It's this brilliant AI that can just devour hundreds of pages in seconds and pull out exactly what you need. It's nuts. Okay, so once Notebook LM, the research brain, has done all the heavy thinking, that's when Gemini steps in. This is the creative engine. It takes all those structured insights from Notebook LM and, boom, instantly turns them into professional-looking visuals. Honestly, this is where the real magic happens. All right, let's put this due to the test. For our first case study, we're going to take on a super common problem. How do you turn a really dense textbook into a simple, beautiful infographic that anyone can understand? I mean, who hasn't been there? You're staring at a 500-page textbook, and your boss or your professor needs a one-page summary like yesterday. You've got this mountain of text, and you need to find the gold inside. How do you even start? And this is the crazy part. The process is so simple, it almost feels like cheating. Step 1, Notebook LM just reads the whole 500-page book. That's it. Step 2, Gemini grabs the key insights that Notebook LM pulled out and just designs the whole visual. 2 steps, from a mountain of text to a finished product. Wow. But here's the key. You're not just hitting a button and hoping for the best. You're the director here. Just look at this prompt. It's super specific. You're telling the AI exactly how you want the information structured, into 5 clear sections. That's what's so powerful. This control is what gets you a genuinely useful result every single time. And here it is, the final result. And look, it's not just a block of text. It's a full-on professional-looking infographic. See how it has these clean visual sections for drivers and metrics? It pulls out the key stats for you. This is hundreds of pages boiled down into one elegant visual you can digest in, a minute or 2? Amazing. Okay, so that was impressive with just one big document, but what if you're starting with, a whole pile of different research papers? For our next case study, let's see how this workflow can build an entire data-driven presentation completely from scratch. Oh man, we have all felt this pain. The deadline is looming, you need a killer presentation, and you're starting with basically nothing but a topic and maybe a few articles. The pressure is on. So the workflow here is a little different, but just as cool. Notebook LM doesn't just analyze the sources you give it, it can actually go out and find credible sources for you on your topic. From there, it whips up a 10-slide outline, and then, you guessed it, Gemini takes that outline and builds the entire slide deck. And again, it all comes down to a smart prompt. Check this out. By specifically asking for short source notes on each slide, you're basically baking credibility right into the presentation from the very beginning. It's a simple little trick that makes the final deck so much more persuasive and trustworthy. And voila, here's what you get. A totally polished, data-heavy presentation that's ready to present like right now. Look at the modern design, the clear headlines, the mix of charts and quotes. Gemini didn't just dump text into a template. It actually thought about the flow and created a real visual story. All right, infographics and slide decks are cool, but let's push things a bit further. Let's get really creative. For this third case study, we're leaving static documents behind and creating something totally dynamic, an interactive map that visualizes the future of job skills. Think about it. Some things just don't fit in a neat little list, right? Stuff like skills or market trends, they're all connected in this complex web. A simple chart just can't capture that. So the big question is, how do you actually show all those connections in a way that people can instantly understand? And this is where it gets really fun. It's a simple handoff. First, Notebook LM chews through all the data from labor reports and spits out a mind map, just a static image. Then, you literally just feed that picture to Gemini and tell it to make it come alive. This prompt is my favorite so far because it really shows you're not just a passive user. You're the creative director of this project. You're telling it what kind of map to make, a constellation map. how to color code it, and even to add interactive features like hover text. You're designing the entire user experience with just a few sentences. And the result is just wow. It's not a diagram anymore. It's a tool you can actually play with. You can explore this whole landscape of skills, hover over anything to get more info, and see how everything is connected. This is taking raw data and turning into an actual experience. Okay, for our final case study, we're going for the big one, the ultimate business use case. How do you take a ton of messy market research and turn it into a live, actionable strategy dashboard that a CEO can actually use? I mean, this is the holy grail for any business, right? You don't do research just to have a pretty report sit on a shelf. You do it to make better, faster decisions. But there's always this huge gap between the data and the decision. How do you cross it? And this is where the AI really levels up from just an assistant to a genuine strategist. Check out this table. Notebook LM didn't just give a summary, it analyzed a bunch of different reports and synthesized them into a decision-making framework, complete with crystal clear recommendations: adopt, monitor, or avoid. That's a huge leap. And then, for the grand finale, Gemini takes that amazing strategic table and turns it into this, a live dashboard. Now, a business leader can literally just sit down, filter by cost or value, see the color-coded priorities at a glance, and get an instant roadmap for what to do next, all of it powered by that initial research. So, when you step back, what does this all really mean? It means this workflow isn't just a small improvement. It completely changes the game. It bridges that gap between information and action. It unlocks creativity. It makes making smart, data-driven decisions easy. The bottom line is, you're going from dense research to a polished final result in minutes. Not hours, not days, minutes. Which, of course, brings us to the final and most important question. When you have tools that are this powerful, tools that can turn literally any pile of information into a clear, actionable result, the only thing holding you back is your imagination. So I'll leave you with this. What's the first big, complex problem you're going to solve?